If we're money conscious, frugality is a virtue that many of us aspire to, at least some point in our lives. There's naturally great value in living below our means, not spending money wastefully, and being a good steward of our financial resources. But frugality is not easy, especially in a consumer-centric society where temptation is everywhere we look. So in that spirit, I want to share with you 10 frugal spending habits so you can learn to spend your money wisely, not wastefully. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. The number one frugal spending habit to learn is productive rest. When we come home from a hard day of work, or we have a whole weekend off to ourselves, all we want to do is have some well-deserved downtime. And downtime is very important because we all need to recharge. The issue is that many of us are not very intentional about how we approach rest, and we often use shopping as our default rest activity. We're bored on Saturday without anything to do. Let's see what new barbecue set they have at Sears. You come home from work and Netflix doesn't have any new shows? Let me jump online and see what new items are on sale. Not only is this unproductive for our wallet, but for our mind as well. Instead of making shopping our default activity, we should work to come up with productive ways to unplug and recharge. This could be leaving our digital devices aside for a few hours and just going for a hike, or taking the dog out for a nice walk, or going to the park with the family to kick soccer balls and fly kites for just a few hours. Rest should recharge us, not drain us. The number two frugal spending habit is to be financially smart about how we approach our hobbies. In the line of productive rest from earlier, hobbies are a great way to effectively rest. Good hobbies can recharge us and stimulate our bodies and minds in very positive ways. However, the issue is that in the spirit of productive rest, we become price insensitive to our hobbies. And in the end, they could end up adding more stress because of the financial impact they're having on our wallets. For example, I have many friends who love to golf, but golfing can oftentimes be very expensive. Not only do you need all the equipment, golf clubs, balls, the outfit, and the shoes, you likely need a golf club membership. And if you want to improve your game, you'll likely want golf lessons from an expert. Now, golf is an excellent sport and nothing against golf itself. However, if I'm just getting started, does it make sense for me to spend all that money up front? Maybe instead of buying into an expensive golf membership from the start, I go to the driving range and hit some golf balls for an hour or two, and incrementally invest into the hobby as my game improves. Again, hobbies are a great way to productively rest. However, if we want to practice frugal spending habits, it's important to consider the financial implications before we blindly jump into the hobby in the spirit of rest. The number three frugal spending habit is to audit our circle. In the words of motivational speaker Jim Rohn, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. We don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that people we spend the most time with shape who we are. As children, our parents shaped our thoughts and minds. And as we got older, our friends did the same. If we don't surround ourselves with the right people, they could have a detrimental impact on our future and our finances. So occasionally audit your circle and with the people whom you spend the most time with. What are their natural spending habits? Do they like splurge shopping at high-end stores? Or are they patient and intentional with their shopping, only buying what they need and items that align with their priorities? If the people you spend the most time with have healthy spending habits, that's great. You're in a good spot to practice frugal spending habits yourself. But if your circle of closest friends aren't practicing those same habits, it could be very hard for you to stick to your own and make the progress that you want. The number four frugal spending habit is to avoid malls as much as possible. Malls are designed for spending money. People might initially go to the mall just to see what's on sale and what new items are out. But most often, people come out with new things they didn't intend to buy or want in the first place. Segueing from the earlier point, we're influenced by the people around us. This is natural, we're all human beings. So when we go to the mall and see other shoppers buying this and that, it is very easy to get influenced. We may subconsciously feel the need to keep up with those around us and purchase things just because everyone else is buying them. In addition, malls are the marketer's domain. It's not an equal playing field. Companies spend millions and billions of dollars to entice shoppers to browse and buy. They display their latest gadgets and toys, play ambient music in the background, and some even pump specific scents that have been known to stimulate the spending money part of our brain. We can't avoid malls 100%, but practice caution. Know that you're entering a domain that is not within your favor. The number five frugal spending habit is to minimize our time online. And I'm not talking about work-related or productive activities online, but using it as a default activity whenever we have downtime. Technology these days are very smart. And when I mean smart, scary smart. Apart from online shopping platforms, the mere fact that our online activity can be tracked means that ads are no longer generic. They're targeted specifically at us. Just the other day, I visited a Banana Republic website to check out some jeans. I wasn't looking to buy, just curious to see what was available. Sometime later, I was reading some articles on the New York Times website, and guess what ad popped up right in the middle of my article? Banana Republic. And of course, with the sales offer, I couldn't miss. Now, if I didn't know anything about the internet, I would have thought, what a lucky coincidence. I was just thinking of Banana Republic, and it happens to be on sale. I need to get on it before the window of opportunity closes. And just like that, I fall right into the internet marketing scheme, not realizing that it was the cookie from my web browsing history that triggered that ad. Online can be a very dangerous place if we aren't conscious of our activities. I would dare to say more dangerous than a brick-and-mortar mall. I know this is a tall order, but the more we can minimize our time online, especially when we have idle time, the better it serves our wallet. The number 6 frugal spending habit is to unsubscribe ourselves from mailing lists. Mailing lists are another very popular marketing tactic that companies use to make sales. And to be transparent with you, they aren't all bad. I personally use mailing lists to better engage with you, the audience, and they can be an effective tool when used right. A small plug, if you want to sign up for my mailing list, check out my website financialtortoise.com. You can download a free money guide as well as join my mailing list. Issue happens when we respond to them mindlessly. If we ever show some interest in a company or bought a product from them in the past, they'll continue to flash all their products at us via these mailing lists, soliciting the emotion of desire. And before we know it, we start thinking we need them because they're constantly in front of our face in the form of an email. The truth is that most often we don't. There might be rare times when the right offer might coincide with our need, but a lot of times the desire to buy came from them, not us. It's really hard to stop buying junk if it's constantly being dangled in front of us. So go through your inbox and start unsubscribing. Well, except for my email, of course. The number 7 frugal spending habit is to sell or give what we already have. The process of decluttering is quite interesting. It brings up so many emotions from people. Joy, anger, sadness, frustration. You name it, it's all there. It's like the 7 stages of grief, but not in any specific order. And the reason is because as we're going through each item to decide to keep or give away, we tap into the emotional tie we have with each item. Oh, take a look at this jacket. I haven't worn it in years, but I remember having such fond memories of it from that time in Colorado. Oh wow, I didn't know I had these play sets. Maybe I should replace all the old ones I'm using now. Now, what is interesting is that this process most often makes us realize how much stuff we already have. Stuff that we aren't using, so we should make better use of it, or we see that we already have too much of something, so it keeps us from buying more of it. Thus, regular decluttering is not only good for our soul, but for our wallet as well. The number 8 frugal spending habit is to try borrowing first before buying. If there's something we want, instead of buying it outright, try borrowing it first. If you and your friends have similar interests, this is a great opportunity to share some items among you. Not only does it save money, but it allows you to test out items before committing real dollars against it. Many years ago, before ebooks became mainstream, I used to do this often with books. If there was a book that I wanted to check out, I'd either get it from a friend, or more often, check it out at the library. And with some books I really liked, I would get my own copy so I could write in it, and also keep a copy nearby with me at all times. This also works for once-a-year item as well. Your kids like to go snow sliding in the winter? Why buy one if you only go once a year? Share one with a friend who might not be going to the mountain at the same time you are. Number 9 frugal spending habit is in line with the earlier habit, and that is to rent first. Despite how generous our friend is, when it comes to big ticket items, it's unlikely he or she will let us borrow their brand new Tesla for a week or live in their newly renovated home for a month. But if you do have a friend like that, please let me know because I'd like to be that person's friend as well. As mentioned earlier, before you commit real money to buying something, especially high-ticket items, it is good to test drive it. A car or a home is a great example. Based on what we see online, we might think that a specific car is perfect for the family. But how do you really know until you test it yourself? Rent it from a car rental and drive it for a week. You might end up really liking it, or surprisingly, end up hating it. And home is another great example. We have an idealistic dream that we would love a big lawn. Instead of buying outright, rent a home for a year. See if you like the extra space. I've seen many people, after they rented a large home, realize they didn't enjoy all the extra space at all. They needed more furniture, more space to manage, and more areas they had to clean. So in the end, they opt for a smaller but more optimal home. The great benefit of this strategy is that you aren't committing big dollars until you know you enjoy something or not. The number 10 frugal spending habit is to splurge, but of course occasionally and wisely, and on the things that really matter to you. Frugality gets a bad rep because people automatically associate it with miserable and painful living. We conjure up images of eating beans and rice all day long and wearing the same shirt every day. While some of that may be true, for me, frugality isn't about deprivation, but rather prioritization. We practice frugal spending habits so we can have more choice in our lives, not less. So if you're practicing frugal spending habits well, splurge on things that matter to you. Use frugality as a means to live a life of choice. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to learn more about how to be frugal but not miserable, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.